Have you ever been doing this exercise right here, the pull-up, and immediately during the pull-up, you felt pain here? Or days after doing the pull-up, you felt pain right here on the front side of your arm? If you have, then this video that I'm going to share with you guys today is for you. Remember, we train, we don't work out. The mindset is the most important step. Train the brain and the body will follow. Welcome to the club, TTBFC. Let's get it.
Train the brain, fit club. 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 It's the club.
So the first tip that I'm going to give you, if you are new to pull-ups, and more importantly, like we're talking about, if you're having pain from doing pull-ups while you're learning how to do it correctly, the first tip I want to give you is to make it easier, right? And again, in saying that, and we're going to use these bad boys right here, you can take a band just like this. But in saying what I just said, that's actually one of the tips in itself, is to focus on doing it correctly. That's what this is all about. If you are feeling discomfort here in this anterior hip of your elbow, then what that means is, most importantly, you are doing the exercise incorrectly. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. We can't stress the importance of proper technique enough. If you're feeling discomfort and pain here from doing a pull-up, that means that you are doing the exercise incorrectly. So let's just start there. That is tip number one. Make sure that you are doing the exercise correctly, which means you have to learn the proper mechanics. You have to learn the science of how the body is supposed to move during that exercise. You have to learn mind to muscle connection. And you also have to know, to do all that, know the primary muscle group that you are targeting and how to target it, so that you do not get pain here in this area, okay? So tip number one, learn proper technique. The better the technique, the better the results. And make sure that you don't do what it looks like, but you learn exactly what it is that you need to be doing to do the exercise correctly and master the movement, all right? So one of the tips that we have to make it a little bit easier is a regression, right? So we can take a resistance band like this one here, and it's real simple. All you do is take the band through here, attach it like that. The resistance of this band will then give you assistance. The more resistance, the more assistance, right? So the thicker the band, the more resistance you'll get, and the more assistance that you'll get when you're doing the exercise, okay? So this one is pretty simple. A lot of people probably know this, right? That you can use a band to make it easier, but the importance of making it easier is so that you can focus on the technique more and not strain as much. And the primary muscle group that you're targeting, to keep it real simple, is your back and your lats, right? Your LATS, your lats. So we want to make sure that if that is the primary muscle group that we're targeting, it is also the primary mover. We don't want to dominate it with the bicep, which is, you want to make sure that your technique is to squeeze and contract your shoulder blades and your back, okay? The first motion that you want to make sure that you have going, I'm going to take this down for just a second so I can show you. But the first motion that you want is, you want to make sure that you squeeze and contract those shoulder blades together before you just pull into the bicep. So you want to squeeze and contract, and then you want to keep pulling and visualize that your elbows, I'll turn towards you, you want to keep pulling and visualize that your elbows are going to connect behind your back, that your triceps are going to connect and meet behind your back. You want everything pulling into your posterior chain, because this is a posterior chain exercise. The next one that we're going to go, and this is probably the most important factor. This is the real reason I did this video, the next tip that I'm about to show you right now. Because this is 9 times out of 10, this is exactly why people have pain. Again, that's what we're talking about, having that pain right here in the anterior elbow. So if you ever had that pain right here, this tip that I'm about to give you right now is probably the most important outside of making it easier, knowing the primary muscle group, targeting that. This right here, this key, this technique that I'm about to show you right now is probably the most important thing because nobody talks about it. Most people do not know it. If you've probably never seen a video on YouTube even about what I'm about to show you, all right? And that's what we do at Training Brain Fit Club. We really go into each individual movement and we master the movement. So, again, so you can see real close, we're talking about that anterior pit of the elbow right there. Now, the movement, and I'm probably gonna have to bring this closer, but I'm gonna show you from where you are right now, it's not even the movement actually, it's the grip. This is where most people get the pain right here because of their grip. Whether their hands are too small, whether their grip is too weak, or whether they just don't have the focus on what to do, they get a lot of pain right here. So let's just say that you're dominating this pulling exercise with the pulling muscle of the bicep instead of your lats, and then you have the wrong grip. That's how you get this pain right here. So I can come close right now and I can show you this. Hopefully I'm still in the camera because I'm moving this, I'm doing this myself. But if I ball up my fist like this and make a full fist, if I make a full fist like this, you can see right here it's pretty relaxed. But if I go like this and I squeeze really tightly, you can start to see all this stuff around here jumping up. And this is super hard right here. Again, when I'm like this, it's still engaged because my arm is bent, but it's relaxed. There's not a bunch of tension. But as soon as I go into a grip like this, and I start squeezing, then it gets a lot more. You can even see the bicep, everything is getting more pronounced, and there's a lot more tension right here. And that's the number one problem, the grip. Most people grip the bar like this, all right? So they grip the bar from the fingertips, and it puts a lot of stress right here. And then they pull into that, and the first thing that activates is right here. As soon as you start pulling, and I'll do a closer view of this, but as soon as you start pulling, that's the first thing that activates. And then that means every rep, every set that you do, you're over exhausting this area, and then boom, there you go, right? So how do we fix it? We take the web of our hand in between the thumb and the pointer finger, this right here. And we're gonna make sure that we push that against the bar, right? One of the things that we learn when we're talking about the science of the body is proprioception, right? How your body receives information from coming in contact with solid surfaces or unbalanced surfaces, and how that feedback goes from the mind to the body, right? So right here, we're gonna make sure that we place this web of between the thumb and the pointer finger firm against the bar. If you have space between the web of your hand right here and the bar, if there's space there, then that means more than likely you're going to have stress right here, especially if you're new to the exercise and you're building up strength to do it anyway. If you don't have the strength to do it like someone who's been training for pull-ups and they have a level of strength, then in a level of a good strong grip, it's just going to add even more pressure here, just from that weakness, right? So the first thing we do, this is very important, and you can see me doing it right here. I do it automatically without thinking about it, but I want anyone new to this, I want you to think about it, consciously think about what you're doing, make a conscious effort. Firmly push that web right there, firmly push, and then grip. So there's no need for you to be jumping up to do pull-ups if you're new to pull-ups, right? And even if your bar is too high for you to reach like this, you would just get a step, stand on the step. And then before you step off the step, you'll do the same thing. So I want to get as much as my palm around the bar as possible, and I do that by pushing the web all the way in there real tight. So now I have that firm grip, and when I get ready to pull, I can focus on using my back more than using my bicep, but most importantly, using this pit right here and putting undue stress right there, all right? So the biggest tip is to make sure you focus on the grip. The biggest tip is to make sure you focus on the grip, bars. Anyway, tough crowd. But look though, so press firm against the bar, get that firm grip and don't let it slip. Don't be hanging there like this. All right, so from this view, here and here, you don't want to be here. All right, warming up before you do an exercise is tremendously important. Before you start a training session, make sure you have a proper warm-up. Foam roll. We're very big on foam rolling. Any of my coaches, any of my members will tell you that we don't start a session without foam rolling first. We also make sure that we have foam rolling in our DFMs, which is something that we have here at Train Your Brain Fit Club. And we foam roll for our DFMs that's at home as well as in the gym. Outside of foam rolling, you want to make sure again you have a proper warm-up. And a warm-up, sometimes there's more than one style of warm-up, obviously, right? We focus on foam roll, then we go to a dynamic warm-up. But you can also warm up with a PVC pipe or a dowel. And you can also warm up with the exercise itself that you're going to do, or some variation of it. For instance, after I do my dynamic warm-up, let's say I'm going to do pull-ups, I can get a good warm-up in with something like a TRX strap, just focusing on activating that range of motion and programming that mind and muscle connection before I go to the pull-up itself. Or let's say you've advanced some and you are going to do the pull-up and you did a dynamic, you foam rolled, you did your dynamic warm-up, you can go back to this band and do a warm-up set of the pull-up itself with a band where, again, it's not about the fact that you need the band, but you're just warming up to doing a pull-up without the band, or maybe you're going to do pull-ups weighted. You know, you have graduated to the point to where you're anchoring weight against your own body weight to make the pull-up even more engaged. And that's a whole other video on like building size and all that good stuff. But again, you can even use the exercise itself just at an easier level as part of the warm-up too. And you can do that with any exercise. Bench press, squat, doesn't matter. Deadlifts, shoulder press, all of that. All right? So again, those are the tips that I have, and I promise you, if you implement those, you will not have pain here moving forward. In fact, it will be instant, immediate. If you're having pain right now, once that pain goes away, if you utilize these tips, especially the one with the grip, I guarantee you, you will not have pain here when you do the pull-ups. And also, if you focus on the primary muscle group, which is your back, you will be maximizing the movement and minimizing any opportunity for injury or discomfort. And then also, along with making sure you know the primary muscle group and how to target it, just making sure that you get a proper warm-up, including foam rolling before you start any exercise. All right, so that is it for this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we will keep bringing more and more content. Also, go download the app and start training with Train Your Brain Fit Club right now today. And any purchase that you make, whether it's apparel, whether it's fitness equipment, we will give you 1 month of training on us. Because we want to make sure, and we'll give you the top 10 recommended exercises that we recommend you do with whatever piece of equipment you purchase from us. So you purchase a piece of equipment from us, and we'll make sure we give you the top 10 recommended exercises to maximize using that equipment to get the best results from it and the best results from your training. Remember, mindset is the most important set. Train the brain and the body will follow. Let's get it.